Everybody that's joining us, thank you, AJ. Welcome to today's training of the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program. And I'm excited. We didn't even press or get settled, and people already joining us. So thank you, guys. I am excited about the topic for this month, which is continually understanding the 4 personality types. And before I get started, I definitely want to thank you guys, because a lot of you guys are reaching out to me on Facebook and on Instagram. Okay, great. On Facebook and on Instagram, and you are telling me that you understand the purpose and power of mentorship, and some of you are even going over to the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page and liking the page and watching the videos and the posts there. Some of you guys have connected with us on our meetups, and we have a lot of great events and activities that happen during the month that are live, and you can come out and connect with us. If you are any of those spaces, you'll get to see them. And we are uploading some new things on the Yellow Letter Mentoring website. So I really encourage you. I'm sorry, I have a piece of hair in my eye and it was a bit irritating. But we're encouraging you to get connected with us there, and then you will see the events that we have, and also some of the products that may work for you. But my name is Wendy Lovejoy, and I am of the YellowLetterMentoring.com. And the reason I came up with this training is because everybody understands in real estate that you have to continuously attract motivated sellers. That is the only way to grow your business. And you cannot just attract sellers. You have to really qualify them and make sure that they're motivated. The more motivated they are, the more they will listen to your educating them, the more they will do the things that you're suggesting, and then they will close quicker, which will help you to help other people, and by default you will get more paychecks. But you have to focus on helping people and not on the paychecks, because if you focus on the paychecks, then you're not really focusing on helping people. And what happens is, most people that focus on their paychecks focus on the lack of a paycheck, and then that multiplies. So you don't want to do that. If you focus on how can you help more people with their real estate issues, you're going to be forced to grow. Got to get my yellow letter in there, and you might even see a picture of my brother up there. Here we go. But this program to me is awesome. And the people that get on it, they really love it because they have hands-on help. But as I was saying, your focus is to, hey Aaron, is to make sure that you are understanding that your goal as a real estate investor, a real estate agent. I spoke to a few agents today that are in the mentoring program, as well as a few people, as I mentioned before, that reached out to me that want to get into the program. And we don't let everybody enroll. We really look to see that you are committed to growing your business. I can teach you all the techniques, but if you're not committed to your why and growing your business, it's just a waste of time and energy. And our program is very affordable. So we don't want just the money. It's not about the money. It's about you getting in there and getting your work done so that you can grow your business. And over the years, as I look at the people that I've trained over the years to become agents, to become brokers, to become successful real estate investors, people that wholesale or fix and flip or buy and hold, the ones that have had the most success are the ones that have a strong why, and they're willing to be coachable. So we look for coachable people, and a conversation tells us if you are or not. We also look for people that are committed to their why. When you're committed to your why, you will not let $500 stop you. You will not let $1,000 stop you. You will not let $10,000 stop you. You're going to do whatever you have to do to get your why accomplished. So One of my favorite mentors, Les Brown, says you have to be hungry, like really hungry. I mean, I have met people. I have a gentleman that I'm talking to, and I really hope he commits to being on the program. He's not even a real estate investor. He is working on getting his own food truck. But what touched me about him is that he's so committed to hard work, and that's what I tell people. In the beginning stages of your real estate, especially your first 9 months to a year, you have to be willing to bust your butt. If you have a strong why, if somebody says you need another $1,500, you will not let that stop you. If your mentor told you you need another $500 so you could do more marketing, you would not let that stop you, because your why is greater than anything else that you may be listening to. So I always say, if you give up on yourself, you may feel like I'm giving up on the whatever you invested in. Today I spoke to a few people that said they've paid mentors and coaching programs like $50,000 to $70,000, and they have not closed a deal yet. And to those people I say, if you have $50,000 to $70,000, you should have bought a house that you could fix and refinance. There's so many other options. I think a coaching program that you're spending over $10,000 just to get in it is a little too much, and that's just my opinion. The person who started this real estate investing that everybody is doing doesn't even really coach it like when I first started, which is now like, the late 80s, early 90s. And I talk about Robert Allen all the time. I actually had a gentleman today who wanted to sign up for the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program, say he invested in that in Robert Allen about probably the late 2000s. And the thing is, some people are using Robert Allen's name, and it's not even Robert Allen. One of the great REITs in the Georgia area started out as the Robert Allen No Money Down. That was the original name until they had an issue with the presidents of the company, and then they changed their name to Georgia REIA. So most people have some sort of REIA or another. And the thing with that is, again, Robert Allen is most people are more motivational speakers now. And you would have had to have gotten in the program years ago for it to make sense. When I started in the program, as I mentioned over and over, one of the things back then was that I bought his book first, No Money Down. And then I went to his conference, because at the back of the book he had information of how we could contact him and when is the next time he was doing something live. And it was a week-long program in the at the time he lived in San Diego. And the thing that he's famous for is he built $1 million home, but he built it on a slope. And so what happened is the home actually slid, and then he went broke because he invested so much in that one home. He went broke, and he started all over, and he's wealthier now than he's ever been. But most mentors, they grow to the level, or they choose a platform where you're not gonna get access to them when you first get started. They want you involved in their programs for a minute before you have access to them. In our program, you have access to me because I really believe that, you want to understand what you're doing in this real estate game. So very, very important. Not every program, you're going to see the people that start their program, and that's one of the reasons I like to do these live streams, so you can get a flavor of how I mentor and the stuff that I've experienced, and to see if there's anything that will benefit you. But one of the main things you want to do in your real estate investing is you want to constantly work on yourself. I share this often. There is a story of a young boy who was asked, he was very cantankerous, very busy all the time. And so the babysitter that was watching him took a a picture that had a man on one side and the world on the other side, and she tore it up, and she felt like she would keep him busy for hours, because he was just so, he needed a lot of energy, he had a lot of energy. So she tore up the piece of paper and she put it on the floor and she said, now you work on that. And not even 10 minutes later, he's like, I'm finished, it's done. And she said, well, how did you do that? How did you put it together so quickly? He said, well, when I put the man together, the world was put together as well. So when you focus on the man or the woman, then everything around you changes. And I know that to be true, because when I started real estate, I started this from a very broken place in my life. And I'm not going to get into that story, but I know I had low self-esteem. I was a blue. I was confused. I was leaving one industry. I didn't know how to get started in this industry. And I could give you a pile of reasons why this wasn't going to work. But the main thing that changed for me is I had to do a lot of self-development. That's so important. The bigger your why, the bigger dream you have, the more you have to work on yourself. And then you have to continue to look at the people around you. You have to keep changing the people around you. And one of the things that I see new investors make is they choose to build their business with the cheapest or the freest labor they can find. And most of the time they're looking for people that are the lowest on the totem pole. If they go for a real estate agent, they find somebody who's brand spanking new, who hasn't done a deal yet, and they feel they're going to grow together. I encourage you to look at the top of this world, people that make it in this world, that change their businesses in this world. And one of the things you want to look at is you look at Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was building his own business. Oprah Winfrey tried to open up her studio, her own network TV, and she was having miserable success. Now, she had a huge following. Everybody knew her from the Oprah Winfrey Show. She had accomplished even some movies, but when she started her own television station, it was flopping. And then what she did is Tyler Perry reached out to her and said, I can help you. He had been doing movies already. He had already had a small studio in Atlanta. Now he got to the point from sacrificing and not living large. I was actually in contract for the house that he did, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, for over a year, and that deal fell apart because the paperwork was not ready when we went into contract. So that home was not in the best part of Atlanta, but he had a lot of land, and you had to know where the house was to find it. Tyler Perry did not focus on, hey Marcus, he didn't focus on, going out and telling the world how he's blinging. He literally kept sacrificing. Thank you for the hearts and thumbs up, I appreciate that. But he literally kept sacrificing, and he was able to help Oprah Winfrey take her television studio to a whole nother level. Then he watched what Netflix was doing, and now he's come up with the BET, or the black, it's like the black Netflix, where you're going to see every black show there is. You cannot have success if you keep looking at the people that are just trying to make it. So if you're building your real estate business, you first have to look at your why. Always start from the inside out. Most people, they start outside in. And the more I look at how I got to where I am, which is, I'm not starving, I'm not lacking anything. Anything I want to do, I can do it. But one of the things that happened for me is that I had to work on me. I had to do a lot of soul searching. And then I had to be honest with myself and say, where am I having issues? And nobody in my circle had been in real estate at all. My mom was renting. We owned in South Africa. We were raised in South Africa to own our properties. We grew up in homes that were purchased. You buy the land, you build your home. We didn't know about credit. We didn't know. I always saw my mom paying her bills on time. I never saw any of our utilities cut off, so I didn't understand real estate. And so, I said, I have to find mentors. But first, I had to work on me. A lot of people think they're going to have success working on other people. When you look at the greatest team is a pyramid. The strongest structure for a pyramid, a team, is the form of a pyramid. And there's you at the top. You're at the top of the pyramid. So let me do this. This is the greatest structure of a team. See that pyramid? So this is you. You're at the top of your team. You are the most crucial part of your team. Your body, your health, your mindset, your spiritual well-being, the way you see yourself, the way you speak to yourself is going to reflect in how you treat other people. And how you treat other people is definitely how you treat yourself. So you have to put your greatest energy and effort on fixing this person. Like I said, that little boy, the paper was torn up, but he focused on fixing the man, putting the man together. He said, when I put the man together, the world came into place with no problem. So you have to always work on you, and this is why I always start with mindset, because when I got into real estate, Robert Allen spent the whole weekend. I arrived in San Diego Thursday night. I met my roommate, and I went to dinner with some of the people that had paid to be at the seminar like myself. And from Friday morning to Sunday evening, it was all about your mindset. He didn't even start talking about real estate. And I said, well, why am I here? But I got it. And he made us do things that didn't make sense to me. And if you've been following me, you've heard the story that one of the things that he said to me is that I was afraid to ask people for stuff. So the people like myself, we were woken up at like 4:30 in the morning, and we were put in different parts of San Diego. I was put in front of the Burger King on Main Street. Now, I had already, had nice wardrobe because of the industry I had come from before that. I had some things from that industry. So I had some really nice shoes, a nice pair of pants, and a nice shirt, and I'm put on the street in front of the Burger King in San Diego with a little coffee cup, not even a middle size, but the small styrofoam cup, and I was told I had to beg for quarters, fill my cup, and then I could come back to the hotel. But I wasn't allowed to tell anybody that this was part of the Robert Allen No Money Down seminar. So I'm standing there all day, early in the morning. It's dark in the morning, and I'm still asked, can you please fill my, ma'am, can I have some change? Ma'am, can you spare some change? Sir, do you have any extra change? And people were just walking by me. And then around 3 o'clock, I heard this lady say, well, she's not even broke. Look at her shoes. She's got on, alligator loafers. Like, that's, what is wrong with her? Like and then a gentleman came by, and he's like, little lady, you've been here all day. What's going on? I said, sir, I just need to fill my cup. Can you help me fill my cup? And I said, I just have to collect some change so I can get to, I couldn't tell him the conference. So he went into Burger King, broke some quarters, and then he gave me the quarters, like $10 worth of quarters. And my cup was just about full, and I was able to go back to the hotel. And that taught me something. It taught me not to be afraid to ask people. You've got to be willing to ask for help. You cannot do great things on your own. Everybody hears the story of Oprah Winfrey starting the school in South Africa. She didn't do that on her own. She actually was visiting Nelson Mandela, and they had a standing dinner date for 30 days. And so she was staying at his house, and every evening they would have dinner. And she said by the 29th night, she didn't know what to speak about. So Nelson asked her, like, what were her goals? And she said she'd love to have a school for girls. Now, she hadn't even thought about this, but while she was hanging out with him, it came to her spirit. And the next morning, he had taken care of everything she needed to get that school started. She didn't have to go and, beg for money. She didn't have to find a location. She didn't have to find the teachers for the school. And I'm proud to say that some of the first students of hers were a couple of my cousins. So, it's just amazing when you have friendships with people that know more than you. And this is one thing a mentor can do for you. They can open doors that you can't open on your own. They know shortcuts to stuff that you're not aware of. So it's very, very important to understand that. Anything you're going to have success with, you need a mentor. And if you're a biblical person, if you're a spiritual person like myself, even God had a team. In the very beginning, he said, let us make man in our own image. When you have a big dream and a vision, who's the us that's helping you bring it to reality? How are you bringing it to life? How are you going to make your why become the thing that you live out? How is that going to happen? You have to have a team. But as I mentioned before, until you work on this person, the top part of your pyramid, everything else at the bottom, your team here at the bottom is going to get messed up. So your pyramid, and if you are in the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program, you depending on which part of the program you're in, this is in your workbook. But here are all your affiliates. And then here are your sellers. So you've got to work on you, and then you've got to build a team of your affiliates, like real estate people, and we're going to go into that, title companies and all of that. And then here is the bottom part, is the most important part, which is your motivated sellers. You won't be able to help your motivated sellers if this person up here is broken. So one of the things I had to do is really work on myself. And one of the things I would listen to over and over, you may think this is crazy, but I listen to Freddie Jackson every single day, You Are My Lady. And I literally was telling myself that I am the lady that's going to get this done. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change the life of my mom and my children. And God is so amazing that by the time I built my 2 offices and had success, I took my agents out to eat one evening to this place called Jimmy's Uptown Cafe in New York and Harlem. It's not even there anymore. But when I got there, Wendy Williams was there, and she was her husband, her ex-husband now, and my ex-husband were very good friends. So she came and she, came into VIP with us, hung out with us, and Freddie Jackson was there. And she told me some things about Freddie Jackson, which I said, that's not so. But he came and he sat next to me and he bought me 2 bottles of champagne, and I asked him would he be willing to sing happy birthday to my agent. It was her birthday party we were celebrating, and her name was Chanel. I'll never forget her. And so he said no at first, but before the evening was over, he did a huge concert for us, and we had an amazing night. So God is so amazing to me. And having a belief in your why is very important, and working on yourself. When you change, your world will change, your business will change, your stress level will change, your peace will change, your bank account will change. Most people focus on the bank account, and if you build your business on hype, it's not going to be consistent. 28 years later, people are still saying, Wendy Lovejoy helped me. Some people back then, my first name is Athelia, and people couldn't pronounce that very well. So I said, let me use my middle name. And back then I was Wendy Williams, and then I got married and I became a Lovejoy. But most people know me as Wendy Lovejoy. Excuse me. So, but whichever name it is, people know me as the real estate person. I help them in real estate. I help them start their own business. You can create a legacy from this industry if you work your business correctly. So the number one thing you have to do is fix you. You have to be willing to be in that mirror and honest with yourself. What is it that is holding you back? And then you can't say, oh, it's my mother, it's my father, it's my cousin, it's my broker, it's that, buyer, it's that this or this. You cannot say that. You have to be thinking of what it is in you need to fix. Okay, so this is your pyramid. Strongest structure of team building and making it financially, and you are at the top of your pyramid. And then you're looking for affiliates, people like your real estate agents, your give me 1 second, I need to get a sheet of paper.
Purchase your tracks today.
Okay, thank you for bearing with me, the people that stayed until I got back. Thank you. As I was saying, you have to think about your affiliates, and your affiliates on your team, part of your team building. These are the people that you need. You need to have, one, a mentor. And a mentor is not somebody that's going to make it easy for you. A mentor is somebody that's going to stretch you and pull the best out of you. Sometimes it's not easy. One of the things my students say to me is, I thank you for seeing my greatness before I did. One of the things that happened for me is when I was in the space of getting started in real estate, people like Robert Allen saw greatness in me before I saw it. They saw my potential before I saw it. And so when they stretched me, it was not comfortable. It was not easy. There were times I wanted to give up. There were times I was like, I'm paying this man all this money, but I kept going. And I don't regret it, because it's changed my life forever and a lot of people around me. So if you don't have a mentor, your success is not going to be as easy, as quickly, and it's not going to be as inexpensive. Mentors save you money. They don't cost you money. Most people say, I'm not going to the doctor, I'd rather save the money. But if you have an illness and you don't go to the doctor and you wait to the point where it's critical, that money that you were holding on to would have saved you so much more down the long run. Some people say, I can't eat healthy because it's too expensive. It's more expensive to have an illness you cannot fix than it is to invest in a good diet, some fruits, vegetables, good water, things of that sort. So it's the same mindset when it comes to your mentorship. If you try to do this alone, we are team people. We are communal people. God created us to be in a community. You do not grow in isolation. You grow in a community. So it is not good to be alone. It is not good to try to do this thing by yourself. You need a mentor on your team. You also need a real estate person on your team, a real estate person that is really good at what they do. I really love real estate agents that are good negotiators. I love real estate agents like that. They're not easy to come by. And they're usually not brand spanking new agents. If they are brand spanking new, they have somebody in the family that's been in real estate already. You also want agents that are good at finding listings. They got to be able to find you properties, the kind of properties that you can, lock in and or get at a discounted price. So negotiation is very, very important. And you have to get people. There's a difference between a real estate agent and a realtor. Realtors they're held to a higher code of ethics, and they have to study at a different level. So I always talk to my realtors. I'm going to tell you the team that you need, and then I'm going to tell you the 4 personality types. But you need a realtor that is going to be good at negotiating on your behalf, somebody that loves real estate. They love helping people. They're about their business. They're really motivated by their business. They have a why as well. And you and them can communicate. You don't need a realtor that does not like to work with real estate investors. They're going to disrespect you. They're not going to be comfortable working with you. I've had some real estate agents say that they've heard real estate investing is a scam. I don't try to convince them, oh, what? No, it's not. Let me prove to you why. Okay, no problem. Next, because there are hundreds of thousands of real estate agents, hundreds of thousands.
Cause I wanted some more, cause I'm moving it hard like this. Oh, nah, 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 and I tell them again.